All right, Temple. So you also published a children's book in 2018 titled Calling All Minds: How to Think and Create Like an Inventor.
Yes, it's all my childhood projects. This is the book right here, Calling All Minds. And when we were kids, we'd make paper snowflakes, we'd make parachutes, build kites and airplanes and make things. And a lot of kids today, they don't make things. You've got a lot of kids today, they haven't made a paper airplane, they haven't made a paper snowflake. And when I gave a book signing for that book, just a little over 2 years ago, I found out that 20 or 30% of the kids had never made a paper airplane.
Wow, that's surprising.
Well, I think it's just ridiculous. And so it's a whole lot of just little things that we made in the 50s and stuff that kids did. I also have the optical illusion room in there. I've got the drawings for that in there. That's a little more, more difficult project, but I also have got just very, very simple things like paper snowflakes. Just things like this. And I can hold this up for the people that are watching this on YouTube. But I remember holding this paper snowflake up. Yeah, a simple thing like that. Paper snowflake up I was talking to an educator, and this teacher said to me, in all seriousness, what happens if the child cuts it wrong and it fell apart? I said, you get another piece of printer paper and you try again. And maybe you look it up on YouTube. But there's like no resourcefulness, because I experimented with my parachutes to put spreader bars on the strings so that they'd open, really easily. And then I went on Google Patents and discovered that someone actually patented something pretty similar what I had made when I was like 7 or 8 years old.
Oh, wow. So what are some of your ideas for parents and teachers who want to cultivate curiosity and imagination with their children and students?
I think one of the worst things schools have done is taking out all the hands-on classes. That includes cooking, sewing, woodworking, art, theater, music, because these are things that can also turn into careers, because kids just don't go make stuff. We'd get old wood and make stuff out of it. I read this wonderful article about this junkyard playground where it had tons of old tires in it and forklift pallets, to put freight on, just all this junk out there. And they did have one adult supervising, and the kids would go out there and rip apart the forklift pallets and build stuff out of it. And now you've got kids today that are going to have a self-esteem problem because a paper snowflake fell apart because they cut it wrong. You got to learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, it's almost like they're protecting their kids from feeling like they've failed or something.
Well, there's no resourcefulness. And there's a very interesting experiment that was done by a scientist named Kelly Lambert at the University of Richmond. And she had 2 groups of rats, and she put them in great big pans. And one group of rats got their favorite cereal, Fruit Loops, just thrown on the ground, and they can just pick it up. Other group of rats, they buried the Fruit Loop cereal in piles of sawdust. The rats had to dig it out. And each day figure and just find it. Then, this is the interesting part. After they lived this way, where one group of rats just gets it given to them, the other group of rats had to dig in the sawdust for it, then they give them an impossible task. She went and got a weird cat toy and put Fruit Loop cereal inside it. It was impossible for the rats to open it. She puts it in the pen. The rats just got the Fruit Loops given to them. They didn't try very hard, gave up really quickly. The rats that had to dig for their treats, they spent a lot of time trying to solve the impossible puzzle, much more resilient. And the interesting thing is, when they measured the stress hormones, the rats that had been digging in the sawdust were less stressed.
Oh.
I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, it's almost counterintuitive to what you would think.
That's the thing. And I think that's true for the kids. And I remember going to a maker show one time, and they had all this electronic stuff and all these kids coming in. They could do anything they wanted. You know what the big hit was? Washing machine boxes.
Why?
They had taken hacksaw blades and busted them in half and taped them, so even the little kids could cut that heavy cardboard. And I was a little kid. I couldn't cut that heavy cardboard because, I wasn't allowed to have a knife, not in the 2nd grade. and I could only cut the thin cardboard like the poster board. But you could cut up the big cardboard with that. That was the hit of the show. Washing machine boxes. They don't cost anything. I'll give them to you.
Yeah.
Well, you need more of that simple kind of stuff.
Yeah, I agree. You've been watching Autism Knows No Borders. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also, we'd love to hear from you, so let us know what you think in the comments section. Click here to watch this interview in its entirety. You can also find us on your favorite podcast app. Tune in each week for engaging conversations of how people across the globe are inspiring change and building community. Thanks for watching. Take care.